What's up? It's FT. Braun, Pierzynski, Todd, father. We're going to do a little musical chairs today. Maybe we'll bring in Kratz.
Nah, we're good.
Maybe not. We're going to bring in Brewers speedster, Brice Turang, very soon. So I want to just jump into this right from the start here and not get too deep into it, but I just want to ask you guys a general question. Did you see how they released the bat tracking statistics?
I saw some of it.
Okay. Brice happens to be very high on one of the lists.
What does that mean, though?
Shortest swing length. I have the top three. Shortest swing length. Who's got the shortest swings in the bigs? Can you name one of the top three? And I feel like number
Brice Turang.
Correct. There's one. Can you name two of the top
three?
I
got one.
Okay. You got one?
I think I got one. Luis Arias.
Boom.
No, that's obvious. That's why Scott brought it up, because
his number one.
His
no.
boy,
no.
His boy crush, man crush, is on him. So.
I brought it up because Brice is going to join us in a minute.
What does that mean, though? What does that even mean?
From probably A to B, how they get to the baseball. So instead of going, you can't see. You know how you gain.
Yeah, but
power?
Everyone teaches woo.
Yeah, no, they're just boom, A to B.
Yeah, not Arise, not Turang. Number 3 is Verdugo.
Verdugo. Oh,
really?
I'm just kidding.
There you go.
I was just playing it with you.
So some of the stats that have come out that are brand new: shortest swing length, average bat speed, squared up percentage of contact, which actually is led by a Brice Turang teammate. But let's bring him in right now. We can get into it right from the jump here and ask him about it. See if anyone cares in the bigs right now, or if it's just all the nerds and super fans. Brice Turang from the Milwaukee Brewers joining us on FT Live here right from the jump. Brice, how you doing? Thanks for coming on, first of all.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
First of all, Brice, do you care? Do you care?
No, it's a good question.
Do you care?
Do I care about the
swing
the
speed
stuff?
/ shortest stroke thingy that came out? Do you care?
I mean, I guess it's cool, but I don't really think about it.
When those stats were released yesterday, there were a lot of number-obsessed baseball fans that were having a field day with it in terms of having fun. Hey, here's a new stat we can mess around with. There's a lot of things still missing, right? You can't compare it to last year. You can't compare it on certain pitches, whatever. But when those stats came out, just curious from a big league perspective, did players look at it or talk about it at all and say, hey, did you see these new stats? Or it's like a total nothing burger?
No, I didn't even we haven't even brought it up in the clubhouse. We haven't even talked about it. This was one of the reporters came up to me, I want to say yesterday, and said something about it, but then this is the first time I've really heard about it.
Perfect. So that answers the question.
Yeah. Brice, let me ask you this, bro. How was it trying to figure your way through the subway system in New York City? I mean, listen, I'm from New Jersey. I've been on the subway numerous times. I still have no clue what to do, man. This looks like you guys are having a blast.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was definitely a good time. And last year when we were in New York, I kind of did the same thing. I was just, it's on your phone. So it's just follow your phone and it'll tell you where to go. And what trains to get on and stuff like that. And but it was a great time, especially with all the guys there. Go have fun, and we got lucky with a pretty empty subway. So
I was gonna tell you, if you talked to me beforehand, make sure your wallet was in your front pocket and you didn't have anything valuable on you. So just in case. But I'm glad that nobody was on there, man.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a good time.
How you feeling right now, man? How's the swing going well? How's the team feeling? You guys are doing awesome right now. First place, with the new manager, Pat Murphy. Talk a little about the squad and how everything's going. Yeah,
it's good. Great locker room. Everybody gets along. Everybody has fun. Guys want to win. It's a winning culture, and it's been great, man. These guys, even the older vets, we got a lot of young guys. They're helping us out. They're kind of teaching us the ropes, and allowing us to be comfortable up there and we all trust each other. We all have fun together, and we all want to win. So it's been really good.
What's it like? I mean, you were there with Council last year. Now you got Murph. Has Murph changed? Because we keep asking people this, and everyone said he's only gotten worse. So has Murph changed for the better or for the worse?
No, Murph's great. I love Murph. It's a different job title, but to me, I think he's pretty much the same, other than he was our bench coach to the head coach. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty much the same. He's a great guy. He knows baseball. He's been in baseball for a long time. So, yeah, it's been great. This year's been really fun and really good, and he's doing a great job. And when you have a winning manager, it just drives winning players. So.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I went from when I was with the Twins, we had Ron Gardenhire as our third base coach, and then he went to the manager, and he did change a little bit. As much as you want to say, oh, he doesn't change, you have to change a little bit because, he's the guy now that calls you into the office and is like, hey, Brice, you're not doing this right. Whereas as a coach, he takes you over to the side, right? So there's got to be a little bit of change to, his personality. And I have to ask this, have you had his bagel yet?
his pocket bagel? No.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay, good.
No.
Good answer.
No, yeah, there's I mean, like I said, it's going from the bench coach to the head coach. There's obviously a little bit of change, but personality wise, like the way he is great. He wants to win, and that's the personality hasn't changed much. Obviously, like I said, a different job. There's a little bit more things that he has to do or say or whatever, but that's just part of the job, So he's been great. He's handled it really good, and it's been fun.
I'm going to turn this conversation up a notch. Erik Kratz joining the party right now. Kratz, our resident Milwaukee Brewers specialist. Go ahead, Kratz. Take over, man.
As long as my internet doesn't suck like your first base coach, Quentin Berry. But my question is, for that, first of all, I have a comment because I'm glad you're in the big leagues because it's going to slowly dwindle the amount of people I went to spring training with. But you were really young, so we were in spring training together. You probably don't remember me, but I remember you because you were like 16 years old. I thought you were from the Dominican, but you had so much, you just had so much, I don't want to say swag, but just confidence for a kid that was 18 years old that I was so impressed, and I've watched you ever since then. But my question for you is, what does Quentin Berry have to do with your success on the base paths?
Well, first of all, I do remember you. Come on, man.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
No, I do. I really do.
Remembers that big ass head. That's what it remembers. That dome walking around the locker room.
Kratz, put your microphone on too.
Thank microphone. We got a lot going on here. Go ahead.
He's great. He's great. I mean, he's relaying everything every day. We're in there watching video. He's telling me times at second or at when I'm trying to steal second and stuff like that. He was base runner himself, and so he's been great. He's helped out a ton with the guys in running, and QB, he's awesome, man. He's good vibes all the time, and he's trying to get us to win games by stealing bases and stuff like that. So he's phenomenal, man.
Do you get in your head about the streak? Is it like a hitting streak? Coming to my last, I know they're having me steal here. I got to make it. Or are you so confident because of the work you put in, because of the stuff that you get from QB? Are you I'm going to make it this time? It's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really worry about it. It kind of is what it is. It's baseball, and you get thrown out. You can't. Every time you steal, you have an opportunity to get thrown out. So, but I also have an opportunity to advance. Just going on the right pitches, the right times. not just running to run, more running because I know that I have a really good chance of being safe. That and just the game will kind of tell you when the right time is to go, and QB also helps out a ton. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to just run myself into outs, of course, but also I know the risk you take, but to get on second, to have those guys drive me in is big for our team. So just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you can't think about those things; you just go out and do them.
What does worry you? You said I'm not really worried about it. You seem like you're so chilled out. Even when you're at the plate, you're like, "Hey, bro, it's totally fine. It's cool, bro." What worries you? Because I know there's plenty of times in my career where I was like, oh no, I'm in the game. Wait, I'm not in the game. Is this bad? I'm gonna get. So what stresses you out?
I mean, I try not to stress myself out. I try not to overthink about things. I try to just, it's baseball in the game, and you're gonna get out, you're gonna get thrown out, you're gonna make errors. Like that's part of the game, and so understanding that you're gonna strike out. Sometimes you got to just tip your cap. It's baseball. It's I've been striking out ever since I was 7 years old, and I'm still going to strike out. I don't know however many more times. So, I don't know. I kind of don't. Obviously, you don't want to. You want to have quality at bats, and but I don't know. I look at it as like that's baseball, and you just learn from it and get better from it, and you move on.
Brice, what's the biggest difference between last year and this year? Because your numbers are gone obviously way up from last year. I know you only got you didn't get I guess you got a lot. You got 400 at bats this year, but through 150 at bats this year. So your numbers have gone up. Your slug has gone up. You're on base. Everything is just much better. Is it just a comfort factor? Is it a hey, I'm going to be in there every day factor? Is it a hey, whatever they say, I'm going to steal this base safely factor? I mean, what's the biggest difference for you mentally or physically?
Yeah. Well, physically, like hitting wise, there was you try to hit the ball harder because like the exit velo, and you try to hit the ball in the air because the launch angle and all that stuff, and it kind of gets to you, and that's not the type of hitter I am. Like I can't miss hit home runs. Like I just can't. Like maybe one day when I'm 220 pounds, 230 pounds, and strong as an ox, maybe, but like I can't miss hit home runs. So what am I doing trying to hit the ball in the air? My game is speed. My game is fast, and so I'm going to take my chances on the ground. And I know in the big leagues, it's like, oh, you hit the ball on the ground, you're out. Well, yeah, but these guys also could catch fly balls. So I'll take my chances on line drives, and that was my main focus this offseason was like, hey, like go back to being like the type of player I am. Like, why am I trying to hit home runs? Like that's, why am I trying to drive? Obviously, you want to drive balls in the gap, but why am I trying to hit them over the center fielders or over the center field wall? Like, I hit a low line drive and I hit it a little bit more out in front. Now it's a homer. It's just stuff like that. And I hit with my dad my whole life, and the past couple of years, me and him would kind of bicker back and forth about things, and I would be like, oh, this is the new style. This is kind of what everybody's trending to, and so finally he kind of just stopped saying something. And that at the end of the last season, I went up to him. I was like, bro, I'm all ears. Just take me back to my old ways, and now here we are. So I just went back to what I did when I was 8, 9 years old, and that's hit low line drives and short to it, long through it.
No, I love that. I try and teach the kids that too as well. I want to go through your family here a little bit. You have a bunch of sisters, really athletic, great softball players, went to the College World Series. Your mom was really athletic. Your dad played, got a little bit with the Mariners. My question to you is, how does it feel to be the least athletic in the family?
I know. I always tell people. I'm always like, man, I'm the least athletic out of all of them. No,
It's got to
man.
have some great dinners and stuff like that when you're talking ball and shop. That's got to be fun.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, all my brother-in-laws are athletes as well, so like, it's sports are always a topic, and just the competitiveness in the family is always there, no matter what. No matter what we're doing, I'm better than you at this and this and this, and it's it's always a game in everything we do, and it's great. You know, I looked up to my sisters, every single one of them, as a kid growing up, and I still do, because the people that they are now is they're great. They're great human beings themselves, and yeah, but it's great, man. They're freaks. My oldest sister was unbelievable at both softball and soccer, and I mean, all my older sisters, because they're all older than me, were unbelievable at the sports they did, and so I always looked up to them, and yeah, it's great. It's always a game, no matter where we're at.
You ever get sick of it? Because like it's like just constantly around you. It's like the 7-footer disease. Like not all, like 10% of people over 7 feet play in the NBA. They're like, well, you have to play basketball. Like, did you have to be in sports, or do you ever get sick of it? Or you ever just like, guys, stop. Like, I'm the only one that's a big leaguer. Like, you guys, like, let's go fishing or something.
No, man, I love it. I love it. I actually have 7 nieces and nephews now, so it's kind of more relaxed with that stuff. And now we're starting to see it with the kids, them being competitive. So it's good. The older ones are starting to play sports, and it's fun. It's fun to watch them. And of course, when I'm in season, I just get videos sent to me of my nieces and nephews playing baseball and soccer and stuff like that. So now it's kind of rolling over into them. But yeah, man, it's I never get sick of it. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think you got to be competitive in life in general. So.
All right. So you've been elite in the field, but you're not playing the position that I think you can play. When Willy Adames leaves for more cash one day, I know that's hard to say, a teammate leaving that you really like. Can you play shortstop in the big leagues for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I came up as a shortstop. I never really played second much. I played second in the minor leagues, but not much. And so even some days now, I'll go over to short and take ground balls, and you know, it's a little different over at short than it is at second, just with the angles that you have and stuff like that. And but yeah, I could go over there and play short. It's kind of weird. The game's changed without the shifts. Like the infielders are more rangy and stuff like that. So I don't know what their plan is. I haven't talked to them about it. Obviously, if we keep Willie around, then that's great. He's the man, dude. He's unbelievable defender. He's helped me out a ton. He's a great guy. He's a great locker room guy. He's working hard all the time, and so I haven't really talked to them about it much. You know, it's just I'm playing second now. But if anything ever happened and I need to move over to short, then I move over to short.
Brice, last question. What's your favorite fast food brand? Just wondering. Wait, hold on.
Oh man.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me.
Did we get a sponsorship that I don't know about?
Yeah, no, we don't even have a sponsor for
Oh
them.
no, but we need some of that sauce. That Chick-fil-A sauce is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Fast food. I'm big
I don't eat
In-N-Out
fast
guy.
food.
I
I was
like
gonna say you don't
In-N-Out.
eat fast food, no.
In-N-Out's great. Always good for a late burger.
Oof.
Chick-fil-A is great. Always good for if you gotta get something quick. Yeah, I try not to eat out as much as I can, but if I had to pick, probably In-N-Out. I like In-N-Out.
Okay,
There you
you're a
go.
West Coast guy.
Didn't pass the test.
I
Makes sense.
thought he was
That's
going to say Taco Bell, but that's all right.
Taco.
Oh, dude, he's more like a taco cantina. What is it in Taco Bueno? No.
Oh, the fancy one, Cantina.
What's the
I've
one?
never
There's
had
one.
Taco Bueno.
What's the one in California? There's a taco. It's not Taco Bell. There's
Del
another one.
Taco?
Del
Del
Taco.
Taco.
That's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Taco Bueno's in Texas.
Yeah.
There you go. You get it all here for 15, 20 minutes. Bryce, hope you enjoyed it, man. Keep doing your thing. Really fun to
All right,
watch, and we'll catch you down the road, all right?
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate you. Brice Turang from the Milwaukee Brewers joining us on FT. Great combo. You guys all probably got excited when he talked about the change in approach. Did you guys all go like shed a tear a
Yeah,
little
it was
bit?
smart. That was awesome. He's
Yeah.
he's not a 300. He's not a Todd Frazier trying to go deep. He's a speed guy.
40 dingers, or how about 70 stolen bases?
Dude, that's his game.
80 stolen bases.
He's capable. He is fast as hell, and he's efficient. I mean, like he mentioned, what's the current streak at Kratz? Because I'm not good at the numbers. I mean, I know he's 16 for 16 this year, but he had a streak going back to last year. He was 26 for 30 last year. I don't remember what the current number is. It's in
I wonder what
the
the record is.
high 20s or early 30s. The record's pretty high.
He's over 30 by now.
He's over 30 in a row.
I thought it was 32 because Trey had it and then he got caught on that double steal at third.
Mm-hmm. Smart play by the catcher.
Yeah. All right, let's have some fun. Let's charge the damn mound. What are you laughing at? You can't even get at me today. I have my own charger.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I come in here. I come here with
Chick-fil-A,
confidence
mac
today.
and cheese.
The St. Louis Cardinals had an 8-run top of the 7th inning to smack the Angels. They win 10-5. They now have the same record as the Cincinnati Reds. Both teams are 7 games back of first place Milwaukee. Ken Rosenthal's fair territory covered a little bit of the Cardinals and their slow start to the season, and even mixed in some sound from John Mozeliak, who's led that front office for a long time. They asked Mozeliak about Ollie Marmol. So, first off, do we think that the Cardinals have a chance to get back into this race? No? Like,
I
you're
mean, not
already
if
cooking
Goldschmidt
them?
keeps doing what he's doing.
You think that's the problem? That's the key right now?
Him and Arenado, yeah.
You know what's
What did
funny,
Goldschmidt
though?
just go 0 for 34?
Yeah, he had a long slump. But you know what's funny? Like, the offense is ranked towards the bottom in runs. The pitching's not ranked well either. They're giving up a lot of runs. Like, the run differential, your favorites, the run differential's not good. But it was good yesterday.
Dude, they have like no above average hitters in their lineup. Carpenter, no. Newpart, no.
Contreras.
Goldschmidt, no. Arenado, no. Gorman, no. Herrera, 723 OPS, the highest OPS in their lineup. Donovan, no. Wynn, no. Ciani, no. Burleson, no. Carlson, OPS of 105, which isn't really fair. But their pitching's been better, I think, than people thought. Now, granted, they played the Angels, whose pitching or offense isn't good either, but I don't know. I don't see it, boys, but maybe y'all do, because I missed something when everyone was like, "Oh, the Cardinals are going to win the division on their projections." I'm like, same team they had last year.
Listen, I think everybody's still in it, per se. You know what I mean? You got Oakland that's doing well. Nationals are they're above expectations of what these teams are doing. They're 7 games out, and we're a quarter of the way through. AJ, I agree 100% with what you're saying, but anybody can catch fire. I mean, you've seen some of these teams, the White Sox, I think they won 5 in a row. So it's like, will that keep happening? Most likely not, but it's very surprising. It's very entertaining. It's great for baseball. And, you know, any team can just catch fire. Lance Lynn can get these boys going, and Gibson, and you never know what can happen. If Goldschmidt comes along, you ride that one person and you keep on rolling.
You can't catch fire if you're holding water. Somebody needs to be the gasoline on that fire.
I like that.
Because right now, nobody's stepping up. They're scoring. I get it. They scored 8 runs. All off the bullpen after Soriano just diced them up. They've been scoring 3 runs in like 12 or 13 games, 3 runs or less so far this season. Like, they are not scoring runs, and nobody's able to step up. Are they looking for Goldschmidt to step up? Maybe. He kind of had a slow spring training. The whole team kind of has slow spring training. Like, the homers, I get it. Like, spring training doesn't mean anything, but when the exact same thing that was happening in spring training carries over with your lineup, and I think it really, ultimately, I think Skip Schumacher is going to be the manager of this team next year, but it boils down to where's the continuity in the lineup? Where is the consistency for this team? And maybe they'll start finding it. Maybe they won't keep platooning or shifting players, different positions. This is what we got. We got to go for it. We got to push all in.
Hold on. Can we rewind?
Wait, what? Wait, Ollie
Rewind
Marmol got
like
fired?
20 seconds. Go back.
Macher.
What did you say?
Yes.
Skip?
Skip Schumacher is going to be the manager of this team next year. Skip Schumacher's a free agent.
Ollie Marmol's not.
Ollie Marmol had a contract extension
Mm-hmm.
in
Not long ago.
March?
By the way, I have to ask this question.
I'm not
So did-
disputing
so
it,
did-
by the way. I
yeah,
actually
so did
think that's a great
Mozeliak.
take.
Mozeliak
True.
also got a contract extension too. So it was like, hey, I don't want to leave you hanging. You're kind of
If
my
Skip-
guy.
If Skip gets it, then AJ's going to be the assistant coach.
No chance.
What?
No chance.
I would love it if he was the assistant coach, just so his title could say ass coach. That's all. That's the only reason I'd want it.
It would be, my license plate would say ass man. Like in Seinfeld.
That is it.
All right, so
Love
I have a question for Todd and Kratz. I know Kratz's answer is going to be the Cardinals are in last place. Okay, I know they have the same record as the Reds. Who are the Cardinals better than in this division? Reds?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Cubs?
Let me look.
Brewers? I know Kratz is going to say no to that one. Pirates? Are they better than the Pirates?
I don't know.
Yes.
Wait, okay. That's a
Okay,
good
so they're a
question.
fourth place team.
Which team finishes with a better record, Pittsburgh or St. Louis? I actually think Pittsburgh.
Well,
St.
Pittsburgh's
Louis.
trying harder. Really? You don't think St. Louis, if it comes to it, will start trading some dudes? Because they got some dudes, Goldschmidt last year. They got some guys.
Are they going to be sellers? Are they going to be
Yes.
sellers? We don't know.
100%. I'm already saying it now. They are 100%
You can't say that. We'll
sellers.
see.
Why not?
You still got time. There's plenty
That's
of
his
time.
luck. That's his luck.
That's a lot.
That's his luck.
Also, Top Father, Top Father, to your point earlier, any team can go on a run. Yeah, but if you're starting on that run and you're 7, 10, 15 games under, it doesn't matter. You have to make a ridiculous run. Like the Rockies
Sure.
are sellers, even though they've won 5 in a row. The White Sox are selling. The Marlins are selling. We're getting through the easy teams. Cardinals are selling. I'm telling you,
Angels will sell what they have.
It's also, it's not like we're looking at them going, oh, they're just losing some close games here and there. A lot of the team stats look good. The peripheral numbers, like we watched the Padres last year and said, there's talent here. There's dudes that are thriving. They're losing a lot of close games, and it never all came together for them, but that's why they weren't big sellers at the deadline. To me, I don't see much. I saw their best hitter go down now for the next 2 months. Otherwise, the lineup's not intimidating. The pitching's not intimidating. And the whole org needs a reset. It does.
He said it.
And they have a chance to strike
Homer.
at the deadline and strike early. You're right. I think teams would be very interested in Paul Goldschmidt. I think teams would be very interested in Ryan Helsley at the back end of a bullpen and can get a significant prospect.
Well, like
or two.
Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson are on one-year deals too. They can go to an organization and fill some innings for you late in the year.
Remember last year when we had Lance Lynn on right around when he was traded? It's going to happen again.
Oof.
Do you guys disagree?
What's more of a lock? Cardinals selling or Skip Schumacher being the Cardinals manager next year?
Cardinals selling.
right now it would be Cardinals selling.
Okay.
The only way
Kratz
Skip doesn't
did not
happen-
answer.
Ooh, Kratz. But what if another team offers Skip more?
Ooh.
Okay.
Could be the Padres.
No, they're not getting Schilt. No, they're keeping Schilt.
Piece of Schilt is in there.
The White
He's
Sox.
got these guys going.
Who?
Could be the White Sox. Could be the Rockies.
White Sox? To do what?
Hire Skip.
They have to pay. They don't
Okay,
pay.
scratch
Hang
that.
on. Let me see if Skip played for the Royals. I don't
He did
think so.
not.
No, I don't believe he did.
Mm-mm. True.
Like a little stint. Like
Maybe
he was
for
a
a
Padre.
minute?
He was a Padre in spring training. I know that, and he was
Did he go-
he was a coach with the Padres.
True. Did he go to the Marlins or did he go to the Royals?
All right, so this is interesting though, but
The Cardinals are going to be interesting because again, all these people are picking them to win the division. And when we did our projections, I'm like, I don't see where they got better. I mean, I love Lance. I love Kyle Gibson. I love Sonny Gray. But they also lost Jordan Hicks. They lost a bunch of guys. And then Wilson Contreras being down for 2 months, we didn't know it at the time, right? But Goldschmidt, another year older. Arenado didn't have a great year last year. And you look at their team, basically, if you look at their team and talking to people inside the Cardinals a little bit, like Nootbaar, Carlson, Edman, Donovan, Burleson, they're all the same guy. They're the same. They're like the same player. So when you game plan for them, you're like, oh, we have 7 of the same dudes, and just game plan and pitch them the same. And then, oh, you have Arenado and Goldschmidt and Contreras that could hurt you. And then the rest of them are like, okay, we'll get through those guys. But if Goldschmidt, Arenado, and with Contreras out, it's a tough lineup.
Tough as in not going to do much.
Exactly. As tough as like, how are we going to score 4 runs a game?
They have not developed lately. There was a long period of time where you would see a Cardinals rookie come through and be like, this dude wasn't even ranked that high. Where did he come from? Wow, they're really doing a nice job developing. And then the player thrives at the big league level. We're actually seeing the reverse now. Something changed, or they just fell behind, or they're going through a time period where it's either the players they're drafting or the development system. Kratz, do you agree? Like Jordan Walker, prime example right now, of course. But there are players that get to the show, and I know the show is way tougher, but they don't look like they are developing and becoming solid big league players or hitting the ceiling that they're supposed to hit.
Position players, I can't really, going back and thinking about position player rookies, I know playing under Tony La Russa, it was a high expectation. If you came up as a rookie, you didn't do it his way, whether it was right or wrong, Tony La Russa was like, nope. So they had a standard. Pitchers, I can definitely attest to the fact that pitchers, when they would get called up with the Cardinals from, let's say, a 2009 to 2015 time period, if you didn't check this off the list, this off the list, this off the list, you have to be able to throw 2 pitches for strikes and be working on a 3rd pitch. You have to be below a 1-2-5 holding runners, or you're not getting called up. And you have to obviously understand your role. So it's one of those things that you have to constantly keep your standards. And I don't know that they've been able to keep those standards for guys. And so they've tried to piece it all together.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just finish with this. If you have to pick one way or the other, raise your hand if you think the Cardinals will be selling hard over the next couple months. Selling hard, like anybody that is a free agent after this season and maybe even the season after that. I think it's an easy hand raise.
I'm waiting for Kelsey Bird to tell me what my answer should be.
If that wasn't the case, they would have gone after Jordan Montgomery. They would have gone after trading for Corbin Burns. They would have gone after Blake Snell because they have the 3rd or 4th richest owner in baseball. They went after dudes that, hey, you know what? Hope it makes it. Hope we do good. I know we got Sonny Gray. We kind of got, we could have gotten all 3 of those guys, but we didn't.
Yep.
True.
All right. We'll see.
Kelsey didn't respond, so you have to tell us yes or no. I feel like this is easy. You guys really think that they're going to jump back in it and we're going to be talking
I said they're going to sell.
Yeah.
Cardinals fans will lose their mind, according to Kelsey Bird. So
yeah.
They'll lose their mind if they trade guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cardinals fans are really good.
They're smart, too.
Some of the best
if
fans.
They're watching a product and going, this ain't it. They're going to be like, what are we getting?
Yeah, but what are they going to do? Just a hard reset, and they're going to go to the Cardinals fans and say, hey, guys, we're going to rebuild for 5 years? The Cardinals don't do that.
I do think there's a difference in baseball between rebuild and reload. You can sell at one deadline and get some prospects, and then
they're going to sign Juan Soto. No, they don't have a history of doing that. Who are they going to go out and get this offseason?
There's a lot of free agents about.
I understand that, but
my thing is, look at the Mets last year, coming with the highest payroll in baseball. It was not it.
Okay.
They sold some players away, got some nice prospects.
Yeah.
They're a 500-ish team probably this year, and they're going to go nuts this offseason, and they're competing. So it's like a 1.5-year reload. It's not a tank.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If they rebuild, does that mean Mozeliak has to go?
Here's the misconception with Mozeliak. You have to look. I think it was this past offseason he said he's got 1 or 2 years left in his current role, and then he is going to be taking a step back. That's already been put out there. More of like your emeritus situation or overseeing. Didn't Walt Jocketty do something like that with the Reds?
Mm.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? He's been running the ship there for a long time. So Mo is
Very successfully,
reaching his
too.
endpoint. Super successfully. I actually think he gets way too much crap. The Cardinals operated as a mid tier in terms of payroll, right? And they were a contender every freaking year for a long time.
I would
Right?
say they're
They
in
were
the
always a
upper.
contender.
Yeah, I would say they're upper mid tier. I mean, they probably were in the 180 range, but they had homegrown guys. They had homegrown guys, and they supplemented them with some nice pickups. Nolan Arenado pickup was such a great pickup. But you had a cornerstone at a premium position. Hall of Famer.
Right now they're 13th this year in payroll.
Right. So mid tier. That's exactly a mid level.
That's about
payroll.
what you expect, though, right?
Yeah.
Yankees, Mets, Astros, Phillies, Texas, Atlanta, Dodgers, Toronto, Cubs, Giants, Red Sox 11, Anaheim 12. I mean, Anaheim has 175 million. They're like 200,000 over the Cardinals. They have 100 million of that on the IL right now.
Well, and I put them in a different category because the GMs there aren't allowed to do what they want.
No, but Moselak's been there for how long? When did he take over? 9, 10?
It's probably been like 20 years.
Well, really?
I think he's coming up on his 20th year.
Okay, because he was there and I was there in 14.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd been there for a bit. I mean, listen, I like Moselak. He was great to me. Does he get to stay, though? I mean, 20 years is a long shelf life. Will he move into that? Because here's the thing. If you keep him around, right, if you keep Moselak around, even as an emeritus, people or whoever takes over next is still going to have to ask their question, well, is Moselak helping you?
I think that next year we'll see Chaim Bloom running the front office with Skip Schumacher as his skipper.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Kratz, you just swayed it.
He's already there.
What about Alex Cora to the Cardinals with Chaim Bloom? They were together in Boston.
That's a possibility, but actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry. They don't like each other.
Okay.
It's Skip and it's Chaim, and Kratz is grinning because he feels like we might have to clip this and show it in a year and tell everyone. Told you.
Glad you guys put the dots together.
Thank you. By the way, the team that Chaim built that he was told to build on a much more limited payroll than usual for the Red Sox with more prospects, it's holding up. It's holding up decently right now.
As Todd said, it's early.
It's early.
Understandable. It's early.
It's early.
Is Kenny Ball game good to go? Yes. All right, cool. I didn't see the eyeball.
Let's ask Junior.
Let's do it. Ken Rosenthal, FT Senior Insider, star of Fair Territory, joining us right now. Ken, good to see you. I know you talked about the Cardinals. I don't know how much you caught of what we said, but let's just go right to the Braun plus Kratz prediction. Chaim Bloom and Skip Schumacher in 2025 after this team sells pieces over the next couple months. What do you think?
Not the most outrageous thing I've ever heard, that's for sure. And I would say maybe Skip has a better chance of being there than Chaim. I just see Skip as being a guy who's going to be out of Miami for sure. I'm not certain that the Cardinals will want to elevate Chaim. He's a special advisor now. It certainly is possible, and you can look at Boston in one of two ways. A lot of the things that he did, you're seeing the fruits of that right now. At the same time, it took the new regime coming in to dramatically overhaul their pitching program. They're pitching like this with similar players that they had before. So what's the difference? The difference is the new regime, the emphasis that they've made in certain areas with pitching. And that, I would say, is kind of a negative on Chaim Bloom's tenure there. So I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but the Cardinals are, without question, a team that we are all looking at and wondering what their future is going to be, both immediately, can they salvage this season, and long-term, will John Moselak remain president of baseball operations?
Well, how long has Moselak been in? We just had this question. I'm trying to find it right now. When did he take over? 2007.
He's one of the longest tenured heads of baseball operations. Cashman is longer. That might be it.
2007. Jocketty left in 2007. DeWitt named Moselak the interim, and then he kind of took it over. Okay. I mean, great. He's been there for, almost 17 years now. So But my question still stands. If they go into a rebuild, a sell, does that mean Mozeliak has to go? And if Mozeliak goes, then probably Ollie Marmol goes with them, because usually whoever they bring in usually wants their own guy. So how much pressure is on Mozeliak right now? Because I know he's felt it before and he feels the pressure from the Cardinals fan, because they're not an organization that says we're scrapping it down, we're rebuilding. Cardinal fans usually don't accept that. So where do we stand with his future?
There's a lot of pressure on Mozeliak right now. There's a lot of pressure on that organization in general, including on Ollie Marmol as the manager. The fans there are quite frustrated. And remember, they sold last year. They traded veterans away last year. So this would be a second straight year of deconstructing after they built up again. Remember, they added those starting pitchers in the offseason, Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, and of course, Sonny Gray. They reinforced their bullpen as well. The one thing they didn't do, we talked about this on the broadcast the other day, AJ, was add to their offense. And they were only 19th in the league in runs scored last year. Obviously, Tommy Edman got hurt. Jordan Walker has not proven to be what they thought. Goldschmidt and Arenado have gone backwards. There are a lot of reasons why offensively they're not who they should have been or were expected to be. Nolan Gorman is another player who has not produced the way they thought. So there are a ton of questions with this team. And when you ask about the future of Mozeliak, we have to see how these next 2 months play out. First of all, one, does Ollie Marmol survive this? Does he get to manage this team for the rest of the season? They just gave him an extension in March. Literally just gave him an extension less than 2 months ago. That was John Mozeliak's call. Didn't want a lame duck manager. All right, that's question number one. Question number two, do they get back in it? Do they revive? Last night was a start. It was against the Angels. And, okay, they've had 2 good games in a row. Let's see them put together 2 weeks of good games, and then we can start talking. Right now, this is one of the most disappointing teams in baseball. No question about that. And as John Mozeliak said on the radio in St. Louis the other day, when they don't perform, people will be held accountable, and he understands that among those people might be himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and more info on Fair Territory if you want to check it out from yesterday's show on YouTube or wherever you get your pods. All right, let's spend some good time here on not 1, not 2, but 3 articles posted by Ken today in The Athletic on how to save the starting pitcher. So let's basically go down the line on articles, Ken. So let's start with the first one that you put out there. Can MLB save the starting pitcher? The search for solutions to baseball's existential crisis. Can you give us the background and how you put this together?
Well, first of all, it was co-written with Jason Stark, and Jason actually did the bulk of the writing here. This started in spring training. We both had separate ideas about starting pitching. I thought about talking to guys like Scherzer and Verlander and a number of other starting pitchers and just asking what they thought, what needs to happen to revive the role to prominence. Jason, at the same time, had a similar thought based on the lack of 6-inning starts that we're seeing in this day and age compared to the past. And he was talking at the time to executives and different people in the game and just about what could be done. So basically, we kind of came together on this and we combined our information, combined our thoughts. And the first story, the one you mentioned, is the main one. And it regards what is being called an existential crisis in baseball because the starting pitcher's role has decreased in such a marked fashion. Now, in that story, we discussed the problem and we discussed 4 potential solutions. One was requiring starters to pitch 6 innings per game. Another was the double hook. You've seen this idea floated. It's been implemented in the Atlantic League, in which the moment you lose your starting pitcher, your DH is gone as well. And there are other ideas that we mentioned in addition to that. And there was another story that we have in this package that lists a number of other ideas. And some of them are rather extreme. I get it. But these are things being talked about not just by Ken Rosenthal and Jason Stark, but people in the game. We don't make this stuff up. We also acknowledge, and we know, and the people who are talking to us know, that some of these things will never come to pass. But again, there was another idea in the first story, ban the sweeper. If that is determined to be a pitch that gets pitchers hurt, okay, maybe take it out of the equation. And we've done things in the game to take other things out of the equation. So in theory, if this is really shown to be a damaging thing, you could do that. Limiting velocity is another thing. Now, this gets to a level where I don't think anyone is comfortable. You're telling pitchers not to be the best versions of themselves. I guess banning the sweeper would fall in that category as well. But again, these are the kinds of things that were just being discussed in the game that we kind of just expanded upon and presented. Now, are there any easy solutions? No, there are not easy solutions. But we all, I would agree, or we all, I would think, agree that this is a problem, that we want to see the days revived where, as we ask in the first sentence of the first story, who's pitching tonight? That used to be an exciting question in the sport. It's not so exciting anymore. So that was the genesis of this. And the third story was conversations that we had with Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander about this problem. And both were very eloquent and thoughtful in their answers about what they wanted to see happen.
Who is the most against this? Players who are making the money and, having a career, whether or not they get injured or not, they're still paid? Or is it ownership who is losing? There's no bigger loss in baseball, in the industry, than the injured list. So who is most against having rules implemented to stop this or try to curtail it?
Erik, I don't know that anyone's against it, honestly. And just for the reasons you said, owners recognize that starting pitching is valuable and you want fewer injuries. And players, of course, want starting pitchers to be paid the way they have been in the past, to return to that exalted place they have in the game or had in the game. So I don't know that anyone is against the idea of restoring starting pitching per se. Rob Manfred mentioned it at the World Series last year, that it was something he'd like to see. Where the disagreement comes in is in these various suggestions. And like anything else, you can poke holes in any of these things. And we can go through them if you want, but you get rather into the woods with it or into the weeds with it. And it's difficult. Some of these things would have unintended consequences. For instance, the double hook rule, where you lose the DH, well, you're devaluing the DH. Some people have a concern about that within the union. So there are all these different factors, but I don't know of anyone who watches baseball who doesn't want to see the days return where we had a marquee starting pitching matchup seemingly every night. And we've lost that, and it's a problem, as Max Scherzer points out, from the entertainment aspect of the sport. The sport is less entertaining without these big starting pitchers going out there and doing what they do, just as it was less entertaining when it was a slow pace of play and when you had offenses just restricted by defensive shifts. There were rules made to ease those problems, to help the game move along better, to theoretically help offense improve as well. And in this particular case with starting pitching, when you're losing entertainment value there, that is why rules changes might make sense.
All right, so I got to ask, Ken, because I was listening to what you were saying, banning certain pitches, banning this and banning that. Like, who's going to be the judge of that? There's going to be a guy in the stand saying, that broke too much horizontally. That's an illegal pitch. Oop, we throw the flag. Like, I get some of these ideas, but how about we just get back to valuing starting pitching? And because the owners in the front offices are like, well, starting pitchers used to get paid on 200 innings. If we knock that down to 150 innings, we don't have to pay them as much. Then we can use other arms who then get overused, get hurt, and then, oh, guess what? We don't have to pay them as much either. And it's a bad cycle. It starts in the minor leagues, right? 6-game series in the minor leagues. Okay, a guy throws once a week. They don't prep to throw every fifth day like they do in the big leagues. Oh, we can't throw him every fifth day. He hasn't done it yet. Paul Skenes, right? Oh, he hasn't thrown 7 innings before ever in his career. We'll look at Paul Skenes again. Oh, only 84 pitches because that's the most he's ever thrown. Meanwhile, at LSU, he's throwing 125 a game, right? So it needs to start at a lower level and then work its way to the major leagues if you want to value starting pitching. But the way we're doing it right now, it's never going to value. Everything is geared towards devaluing starting pitching because it makes the owners pay less for them.
AJ, that's exactly the point of these stories. And that's why we wrote them, because it has been devalued. And I'm not going to sit here and disparage analytics. Analytics have done a great deal for our understanding of the game, has helped the players improve in many ways, in certain cases. Analytics in general, great. But what happened with shifts? Analytically driven strategies made the game less entertaining. The starting pitching thing that we're talking about comes as a result in part of analytical strategies again. And it's no third time through the order. Bring in as many relievers as you can. Keep doing these things. And what we're talking about here is trying to guard against that by enacting rules that would force teams to value starting pitchers more. Now, some of those rules we can all agree would probably be impractical. And we know that. Jason and I knew that when we wrote the stories. We understood that when you talk about banning a 95 mile per hour fastball, it's probably a little out there. Banning the sweeper might be a little out there. And for the reasons you say, AJ, hey, how do you know which is a sweeper, which is a slider? What are you talking about here? So all of these things, in my view, are good to talk about. Certainly things the sport should be exploring because, yeah, starting pitchers are still getting paid a lot of money, but they're getting paid a lot of money, the most money, in fact, but not producing the way they once did. So wouldn't you want to get back to them being productive and highly paid if you're an owner? And if you're a player, yeah, you'd want that position valued again. And it might come at the expense of relief pitchers or DHs. Well, in the end, all of that probably would balance out. The aggregate money might be the same.
For a year and a half, you have been coming on this show, and I don't know that I've ever disagreed with something you've written. But you wrote in there, in the article, and it was a great analogy, what happens if the NFL would find an analytical breakthrough that 4 quarterbacks are difficult to read on defense, and you would have Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes might not even be in there in the fourth quarter, is what you and Jason wrote. But
guilty, yes.
But if that's what helps the Chiefs win, every Chiefs fan would be 100% fine with that. So how much of this is getting away from, like, analytics is not doing this to 100% save money. They're doing this because they think this is their best chance of winning, regardless of human beings.
Absolutely right, Erik. And that is the whole point. That was what defensive shifts were all about. They were created by analytically driven thoughts to thwart offenses. And man, it worked. It worked great. And teams performed better because of it. But from the overall standpoint of the game, the entertainment value of the game, it was not good. And that's why shifts had to be banned the way that they were. This is the kind of thing we're talking about. Now, I will say, again, there are no easy answers here. There are problems with every potential solution. I understand that. But at the same time, I want to see those aces back in the game. I think fans want to see that. It used to be when we were kids, not so long ago for some of us, long ago for more of us maybe, that you go to the ballpark and maybe it's, I don't know, pick a matchup. And it was exciting. It was exciting, the anticipation, and we've lost it. We've lost it with openers. We've lost it with 4 innings and out. We've lost it in all kinds of ways. And in my view, and in Jason's view, it needs to come back. That's why we wrote the stories.
You talk about aces, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, who you talked to as well. Can you give a little inkling on their thoughts and what they came up with as well to make this better for pitchers in Major League Baseball?
Well, Max has all kinds of ideas, and he was a proponent of the double hook in the last round of labor negotiations. And it really never even advanced within the union because of the potential to devalue the DH. Now, he has some really interesting ideas about the double hook. And he's saying basically, if that's not enough to help starting pitchers, help teams leave starting pitchers in longer, then up the ante. That's what he said. Keep upping the ante. Maybe give them a free pinch runner in which a runner comes into the game for a slower player and then gets removed. So the slower player, presumably a better hitter, can remain in the game if you keep your starting pitcher in. All of these different thoughts he had. Justin Verlander talked about conversations he had with Max last year when they were with the Mets about this very issue. And they talked about the double hook and things like that. And he had some pretty eloquent thoughts about just where the game has gone. And also concern about what is done to youth baseball. Because what happens in youth baseball? They follow everything that happens in the major leagues, minors, colleges, right on down. It trickles down to youth baseball. And this emphasis on throwing hard at the age of 7, all of these things, that is kind of one of the things he discussed. And both those guys, they're the 2 leaders right now in innings pitched and games started among active players. Those are the kinds of people that should be listened to. and they had some great thoughts. And I would hope that people within Major League Baseball reading this, maybe want to accelerate the process a little bit. Now, they're conducting a study right now about pitching injuries. MLB, as we've written about this, and it seems to me they want to get through that before they take any action. They kind of want to get a better understanding of what is going on. But again, for the sake of the sports entertainment value, I keep coming back to that, I know. This needs to change. It needs to be a situation where the starting pitcher is restored to his past level of stature.
Ken, since you want things restored to their past stature, and you're a man of certain stature, why is it that you hate Gatorade baths? I mean, are you just the old man on the lawn? Get off my lawn? Because I remember once I gave you a champagne bath, and you just couldn't get enough of it.
That's a slight exaggeration. And actually, I was tethered to the wall, and I could not move, and you just had me like a sitting duck. Now, I don't hate Gatorade baths. I said on my show, it's an occupational hazard, but they do mess up suits pretty badly on occasion.
Oh my God.
And I got one ruined last week, and I was like, come on, man, enough of this. So I don't hate them. I understand why people do them, but at the same time, I can live without them.
Is it because your suit? It's because you're rich, Ken. You can buy all the suits. You probably get your suits for free.
That's right. I've got a lucrative endorsement with Hugo Boss, and there's just 35 suits sitting in my closet, AJ.
See, there you go. I'm looking for a Chick-fil-A sponsorship. Look at me go, Ken. You're looking for Hugo
begging.
Boss?
You're begging is what you're doing.
Literally the whole show today. He's working hard on it. Well, more on that story, too. A fun little bit from Ken on Fair Territory if you want to check it out. And also check out all 3 articles released by Ken, Jason Stark, and Stephen Nesbitt was in on one of them, I believe, as well, right?
No, just Jason and I on this one.
Just Jason and you on those 3. Okay, got it. Ken, thank you. Appreciate you. We'll see you on Fair Territory Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Kratz is getting out of here pretty soon. So just a reminder, first off, Fair Territory is out Mondays and Thursdays. Thursday's edition live with Alana Rizzo, 12:30 Eastern time. If we didn't get to any of your questions, too, ask them live to Ken. I know who asked us a question while we were deep in our discussions. Daniel said,
seriously,
any updates on the A's stadium situation? And the answer is mostly no. I think there was
some, but
something.
But I thought the Supreme Court said they couldn't put a referendum on there to end the public funding, is what I thought I saw. So I don't know. But, I mean, can you guys believe that Ken is mad because his little suits get ruined when they dump Gatorade on him? Like, dry cleaning works, right? Dry cleaning?
Yeah. He doesn't like being sticky and all gooey and stuff.
Yeah.
I've had this happen many times as well. Obviously not as many times as Ken, but I've been in the celebrations with the champagne and the whole deal. And I take it to the dry cleaner, and then it's fine. So my question is, we didn't have time with Ken. Are you going to the right dry cleaner?
Or you can expense it with Fox. I bet they'll even pay for it.
The dry cleaning or the new suit?
Maybe both with a man of Ken's stature.
But my thing is, if you're in a clubhouse and you get drenched with champagne on your suit and you bring it into the dry cleaner the next day, I think it's fine. I mean, I've done it. I've tested it. Is it not true?
I mean, our producer, Mark, behind the scenes said it's tough to travel. That's what I was thinking. Tough to throw because you Fox guys, you don't like to linger in a city. Your first flight out. You don't need extra inning games. Your first flight out back home. You throw that Gatorade suit in a suitcase. Might need a new suitcase too. Just saying.
There's these things called plastic bags in the hotel. So you take it and you put it in there. You're not
in the hotel.
Dude, you can get a plastic bag at any stadium. Trust me.
I don't know.
I just feel like
Ken pays the same amount to dry clean his suits as we do.
Yeah.
No, he probably gets a
discount.
A small discount.
He gets a stipend.
You guys are ridiculous. All right, we got a guest coming up in a second. We got to get rid of Kratz. So let's first off show the free game of the day on the BetMGM app. It's the Royals and the Mariners, 9:40 Eastern time. It's all yours. Available to all BetMGM customers who are logged in and have funded accounts. So make sure you check out That one. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Good series. I agree. Some
Mhm.
people that put out their power rankings on Mondays have the Royals well into their top 10 these days. Obviously, the Mariners can pitch. So we don't have time to go through that game, but go check it out.
Good pitching
then
matchup, too.
There's your Monday locks with just a beautifully, beautifully well done void from Claudia behind the scenes, putting all the raindrops on Kratz trying to pick the Nats and the White Sox.
Kratz, I was going with you on that too.
Yeah.
Dude, you should see remember the algorithm I had last year, Todd? It's back up. This
Bro,
is like, it's a lock.
I was giving you credits all day. How about today? But you better text me later. Let's go.
I'll text you.
After you win that dub piece later.
No, before. 4 o'clock.
I need Jonathan Papelbon to save the day right now. Go, Pap.
My people of Foul Territory and Foul Territory Nation, what's up? It's Pat with you. The Papnosticator, Parlay Pap, whatever you want to call me. But today, you're going to call me the Money Maker, okay? Because I got a 5-star for y'all folks today, okay? This one's a lot. Everybody needs to be riding me today. We're going with the Detroit Tigers playing the Marlins. We're going to take the Tigers in the money line. And we're going with the San Diego Padres in the money line. And that's going to put us at plus 109. So we're going to put $300 up. And we're going to win a little over $600, baby. Let's get it. Everybody needs to follow me today. I'm telling you, this is a money-making day.
I feel like Pap's got that look. It's like the up all night working on that parlay look.
He definitely just woke up.
Sometimes when you talk it out, it doesn't always mean it's going to work.
True. I'll follow just because the FT heater's up, and that's my pick on to win 225. Yankees to beat the Twins tonight with Rodon on the mound and less than 10 total runs scored in the game. It's Paddock against Rodon. I didn't check this one with Kratz. I did this one all on my own. Kratz, do you like it or no? You can be honest.
I do like it. Like it. Paddock will be out early. They had a day off. The bullpen's going to come in. Not much runs off that bullpen.
Boom. Close run. I mean, the biggest risk there is, who's winning. But I think I'm still liking what I'm seeing from Rodon. Yankees offense over Twins offense. Let's get a dub. Plus 225 is a nice little promo boost. Kratz, you're up.
That's going to be a battle.
I'm kind of tailing Pap there with the money line on the Tigers, but I'm adding Reese Olson, who's hit 80% of the time, over 4.5 Ks. So I'm taking the over. I need Reese to get me 5 against the Marlins lineup. Doesn't strike out a ton, but they strike out more against righties and more against starters than they do bullpens.
I like it. I'm going to roll with this one until it doesn't work. I kind of got lucky last night in extra innings that the Dodgers won by 1.5. Hey, guess what? Luck plays a big part in life and in baseball. So I'm going to go Dodgers again, -1 and a hook at -110. I'm going to go 330 to win 300. Gavin Stone, leg out.
Oh, okay. I'm going crazy. 500 on this one. Yep. Same game parlay. Jameson Taillon over 3.5 Ks. Chris Sale over 6.5 Ks. Chris Paddock over 4.5 against your Yankees. Sorry, boys. And Tampa Bay and Boston under 9 runs plus 706 at 500. That's 3,500. I'll be ahead of all you fuckers. And bonus pick another 500. Man City beats Tottenham today -275. So I'm going to be up like $5,000 by the end of the day. I can't do math very quickly. I'm going to be up a couple grand.
Oh, baby.
That's called a same game parlay plus on the BetMGM app.
Plus soccer.
Correct. Nailed it. And the first bet offer is FOUL, FOUL. Download the app, sign up and deposit at least $10 into your account. Place your first wager, receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your bet loses, which could happen if you're tailing AJ tonight. And if the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. We're going to take
check what's
here.
in AJ's Chick-fil-A drink right now, Scott. Jesus, he's on one.
It's happy hour.
There's an old saying, never chase. Well, I'm full chase right now. I am full chase right now.
5 o'clock somewhere.
One of these days, one of them's going to hit, though, and you guys are all going to be mad at me.
I'm going to be very proud of you.
I've been tailing you since day one. 10-year anniversary of us getting second place. So figured I'd wear this hat. before we go and celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Royals losing in Game 7 of the World Series with Alex Gordon on third base.
That's bad juju for today's game, Kratzy. God, man.
What do you mean? Whose game?
For you got states today, right? In high school, you should have went with the number 1 hat.
No. Second to last regular season game.
I feel like every time Kratz has to go coach a high school game, we're like, good luck in the playoffs. And he's like, it's not the playoffs.
I got playoffs tonight.
Florida has been playing since like April. They've been playing playoffs.
We got playoffs tonight. Elite 8.
AJ, you played against my buddy's team the other day. I forgot to tell you.
Harmony, yeah.
Oh, did he say hi to you?
He did, and we beat them twice, and then they made it to the Elite 8. I'm like, dude, they're not good. They weren't good.
Well,
we hammered them twice.
Also,
hammered them.
If they win, they get the rest of the week off of school. It's just random rules being thrown out there.
No, if they win, they do get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Of course
next week, because they'll be in the Final Four in Fort Myers.
But
we play Matty Diaz.
You want to play him though?
We play Matty Diaz tonight. Matty Diaz's team tonight.
Okay.
Nick Franklin versus Matty Diaz.
That's a good former big leaguer matchup. Bye, Kratz. Good luck. We're taking you off the screen.
Versus
and we'll be right back.
Mariners.
Yes, we have Julia Morales joining us when we swing back. Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of Foul Territory. Unified Healing is an innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. This technology promotes wellness and deep relaxation, and there are hundreds of locations across the globe. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifydhealing.com/foul to learn more and find a center near you. That's UNIFYD healing.com/FOUL. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System. Excited to have Julia Morales join us right now on FT. Julia, great to have you on, and congratulations on the major accomplishment last night. We'll go right to that because it says here on the bio, reporter, host, got to add play-by-play for the Houston Astros last night against the Oakland A's with Jenny Kavnar, their regular play-by-play broadcaster as well. Thanks for joining us. How was it? Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. The Astros came through. They played a great game. Good things happening, of course, with Spencer looking for that first win. We knew that was a big storyline going in, so I was really pulling for him to kind of have that first real good start. We've been looking for that from Spencer. And then, just Bregman coming out, good offense, good defense. We had it all. I was stressed, though. It was like a fun event, but I was sweating the entire time. It's hard to be up there. And I know you know that, Scott, but and AJ, obviously you do too, but there's just so much going on in that seat and all the things that are being handed to you and the sponsors. And, it took me a while to get my groove or to even know where to look. But at the end of the day, yeah, what a cool experience. You just showing the picture of Jenny. Jenny and I have been great friends since I started this. She took me under her wing very quickly back in 2013. That was my first year with the Astros. So just to do it all with her and to be prepping for it with her. I know everything there is to know about the Oakland A's right now. My head's going to explode with A's information. So if you guys want to talk A's, I'm ready for that too. But that was the beauty of just being able to lean on her and some other people and getting ready for this. Gosh, what an experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and also so cool that it's right after Mother's Day on Sunday. So my inside baseball broadcasting question is, was this in the works for a while? When did it all come together that this would be the game to have, two female play-by-play broadcasters right after Mother's Day with this series?
Yeah, it actually goes back years and years of, they wanted to do one game where I did a bunch of different jobs. I think Marnie did it in Minnesota where she did play-by-play for an inning, got behind a camera for an inning, and it was something like that. And we were like, we should do that. And then, I don't know if you've watched the Astros broadcast, Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, and myself, we are a tight knit group. We are best friends. What you see is very real, very genuine. And so there was also the fun ideas that we would come up with, like we should all switch chairs one day. Obviously, Todd Callis was a great sideline reporter for the Rays for 100 years. So that's an easy gig for him to jump back into. So there was that idea too. Like, let's just trade places. I was going to call games in spring training in 2020, and I was getting ready for that. I was prepping for that. I think I had 4 in a row. It was a big deal. I'd been practicing. I'd been going to the U of H games and sitting up there and calling them by myself to get my reps in. And then the world stopped, right? And the baseball world definitely stopped. I was also super pregnant at the time and was like super sick. So, I'm like, oh, it was probably a good idea that I didn't try to like work my way through 3-hour games at spring training. So, but it just didn't happen, didn't come into fruition. We kept talking about it though. And I don't know, it just felt right. And then with Ginny coming in, we knew that was kind of a date we should circle. It was a Monday. It's the Oakland A's. It's not, it's not one of those like big weekend marquee games. So if we were going to do something crazy, let's do it that day. So that's how it all happened. There's your backstory.
Okay, I've never done play-by-play, Julia, but I've obviously been an
AJ,
analyst.
it's hard.
Is it though? But
hard.
I mean, did
Yes.
Jeff Blum help you at all? Or because most of the time analysts are supposed to help their play-by-play person. So did he help you, or was he more of a hindrance? Because I can see him going hindrance.
Stop. No, he was great. Yeah, of course he was going to help me. So we kept joking about the fact that we were going to have some awkward plays or just things you've never seen before, because it's baseball, right? That always happens. Sure enough, like first inning, I didn't really have a good feel of like looking at the field, obviously, but there's a monitor and also there's like sponsors I got to be ready to pull up. There's defense I gotta announce. There's just so much going on, and I totally missed. Like I was focused on a ground ball, and then I thought it was going to be an out, but the Oakland A's decided to throw the ball away. Jeremy Pena comes flying around, and that's where I was just like, I look at Blummer, and I'm like, what do we got? What just happened? And that's where you do come in, AJ, right? That's where that job does come in. If I don't understand something or if I want something explained, that's your job. So but I trusted him. I knew he would come through for me in times like that. He would help me. There was a lot of like sign language that I didn't know happens in the booth. That was very helpful. And just because there's a lot of things to keep up with, and I joked within the game, I'm like, I can barely even keep score here just because there's so much that, you're watching that are coming up. We have a full show. Something else I learned watching other broadcasts, keeping up with other teams. Like the Astros are well watched. We have good ratings, and we have a ton of sponsors and a ton of elements and a ton of graphics compared to some of the other ones. So that was another challenge. But gosh, I just wanted to do a good job. I knew I wasn't going to go out there and be perfect. I just didn't want to blow something. I respect the heck out of that chair and people who have sat in that chair, especially in the Astros organization. We've got some like legit legends that have called games. Didn't want to make a mockery of it. Didn't want it to be a shtick. I respect the heck out of Jenny Cavnar too and all that she does. But it was fun. I think it was fun just because I know the team, obviously. My fan base knows that I know the team. And so I had that going. I had the support of everyone going in. I'm not planning to do it anytime soon. I'll tell you all that. Maybe in September there's a day that we tossed around just because we might need someone to actually sit in that seat. And in case of an emergency, I guess you could throw me up there if you wanted to. Blummer could as well. But definitely fun to have that now on my resume.
Okay, so I text Blum before he came on, and I said, I need a good Julia story. And the
gosh.
first thing he said was, ask her how Pena scored from first, was his exact quote.
Still don't know.
And then his other quote was, what did he say? Ask her if she filled out her scorecard yet. So he wants to know if you finished keeping score. And I want to know now, because I didn't watch the beginning of the game, how did Pena score from first?
I still don't know. I know that like he just kept running heads up base running for Jeremy Pena, who is awesome, by the way. I don't know how in tune. I know AJ, you were just in town, but Pena is having a year, and I should have known, right? Anytime this guy's on base, he's going to make something happen. But he's just flying around. I know the ball gets thrown away, and here he comes, and I'm just like, all right, Astros lead 1-0. Gosh, it's such a terrible feeling too, because it's just you. It's all on you, and it's your voice, and and then you want to have the right excitement level. But I was like questioning the whole thing, and I'm like, and the A's I knew they're a team that commits errors, and you're aware of all this. But yeah, it happened fast. Like it threw me in there, but it warmed me up. I was ready to go. Scorecard. I'll finish that today when I get to the field. Especially at the end, I was just like mic drop. We did it. I survived. The Astros won, which was a huge win for them. This is a huge homestand, and everybody knows it. So I feel much better now that it's done.
Yeah, we're going to have something in common too. I've done some broadcasting here and there, but I have my first one with the Yankees coming up, and it's like,
oh yes,
I'm in the Northeast, and it's just a different feel because your people are going to be watching, and these people, they're going to let you know how you really feel. So it's very exciting to come up, but for sure.
You're gonna be great. So
Appreciate
one of the coolest parts about this, this is my 12th year with the team with the Astros, and so I know these guys, right? I travel with them. I do about 150 games a year. Like I live and breathe everything that they go through, and so I have great relationships with them. So for me to walk up to players like Ryan Presley, who's kind of tough, he's kind of a tough guy to get to know and deal with if you're a stranger. And I'm telling him, hey, I'm gonna be in the booth doing play-by-play, anything that's going on with you, just in case you come in. And he just like flooded me with support and information and stories. And he was like, yeah, Jake Myers comes in, talk about this, and that was so cool. That was so cool. And then, I get the don't F it up from every single guy yesterday when they see me, and that's lovingly, right? They're all just like, don't screw this up, Julia. We're all counting on you. One guy was even making fun of me because Profito was going to play. Joey Loperfito still waiting on his first career home run. They were like, man, if Joey's in there and Joey homers, like, you better be ready. That will live on forever. That's like, that's once that track is laid down, it will be played so many times. So there was a little bit of pressure put on me, but that was just like love, right? It was just like, we want you to do well. We know you know this team. And then Bregman gave me a hat tip after the game in his walk-off interview of just like great home run calls. That meant a lot. I mean, and that kind of shows you where we are, right? And like, I knew we were making history with me and Ginny being up there at the same time, but I didn't want that to be like the big story coming in. I wanted it to just be like, hey, I'm in the booth. Like, I'm in the booth tonight. Like, why not? Let's do this. Then just kind of see how it went. And then just like to get that support on top of it, I was like, we have come so far. That was really cool.
That is cool. That is cool. So you talk about Bregman a little bit. That would have been my next question.
Yeah.
He's been struggling. And now to see him hit the 2 home runs, he didn't look like himself, truthfully. You see him out there, he's swinging, put his head down, driving, or walking to first base, jogging to first base.
Yeah.
Do you see a turnaround now? Is there something clicking with him right now? Have you talked to him lately? What's going on with him?
So it has been bad. It has been really bad. The hardest part about that was how good he looked in spring training. We knew about all the work he was doing, moving to Phoenix to be in that area, to work out over there. He really just kind of went all in and committed to the process and what he was going to work on, the swing changes, has a great spring training, and then it just stopped. And it was like a switch flipped. And then the team couldn't get going. And so it was just kind of magnified. And this is a guy that hits 3, 4, it's just like, what is going on? And we all know his situation, right? We all know what kind of year he's in on top of everything. So he hasn't been himself. Even in the last, couple of weeks, I don't want to say he's been quiet. He's everywhere because he's always working. He's always doing something, but he's just not himself, which is this, like, he's got swag, right? He's got that confidence. He's Alex Bregman. Why wouldn't you? Last night, even the way he like came down through the celebrations, I'm like, he's not there yet. Like, he knows he's got tons of work to do and he's not where he needs to be, but that had to feel good. He even did say, I found something this morning. And the dude, yesterday, it's a day game. It's the last day of a road trip. You guys know this well. How many people come out for hitting on it? We're in Detroit. It's 11:30 a.m. and he's out there just hacking away, got the videos, got people with phones. He's looking at stuff. So everyone's kind of intense around him. And then to turn around today, and we get home and he wakes up, goes straight to the field and starts hitting at 11 o'clock yesterday morning. That's who he is. Like, we weren't surprised by that part of the story, but for him to find something, I mean, maybe he did. And if he goes off, and if this team could really continue to play better, this homestand, I say it's important because it's 4 with Oakland. And then we've got the Angels on the other side. We've got Brewers this weekend, but the Angels come in. And if they can just do some serious damage over the next 10 days against a couple of teams in the division, then it's a different story, right? It's too talented of a team to keep struggling all season. So if Breggy can keep going, pitching can keep doing this, they might be in good shape or better shape.
Yeah. Yeah, better shape. And I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, do you see it? I mean, I know you're
Yeah.
so close to it that sometimes I know it's helpful when you have like an outside perspective. Like,
Yeah.
am I seeing things, or is this team just underperforming? So for you seeing them every day, like, are you seeing them going, this is not a team that's going to be 10 games under 500? And in fact,
Yeah.
now that they're in this hole, I actually see this team going on one of those runs where they win 10 of 12. And this is a non-story. It's just that they're fighting
Yeah.
a little bit more in the division and for a wild card when we get to August.
The first month, the losses were like, what just happened? I mean, it was crazy stuff that was going on. There was some bad luck involved. And then it was like, if the starting pitching had 4 bad days, everybody else would be all right, but then it would flip, and then the bullpens tax. I mean, it was just like back and forth and back and forth. It was like, why can't everyone just get it together at the same time? This team is too good. To have Brian Abreu struggle the way he did out of the gate, and then Presley kind of struggle a little bit. I mean, he was kind of hit or miss completely as he's getting used to his new role. I doubt it has anything to do with that. There's soreness involved. There's like lots going on, right, with everybody already, and we're just getting started. So I think, like they just haven't put it together. And if they can here in the next couple of weeks, it's a totally different situation, totally different feel. They are too talented. The Jose Abreu thing in the middle of all that, what are they going to do with him? What should we do with him? They finally make a decision. And then for John Singleton to step up and give them anything. They just needed any kind of production at first base to help that along. Yordan Alvarez really hasn't been swinging it all that well, but we all know what he's capable of. But Abreu is back. I'll tell you, Brian Abreu, reliever Brian Abreu, like 7th inning guy, looks nasty all of a sudden his last 3 outings, which is, okay, here we go. If you're Joe Espada, you're like, all right, I've got my back into the bullpen that everyone was so excited to see. Hader looks better. Everyone just looks a tick better than they did a couple of weeks ago. So I will say, yeah, I think they do. They totally run off and win 10 of 12, like you were saying. And that's who this team's been the last years. I'm seeing it now. Everyone's playing a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. They just have like a different look about them, but they still have to come up with results. Like they know that too. I mean, they just can't continue to lose games the way that they have it. They kind of, they're out of, like, they're too far along. We're a fourth of the way, right? We're a fourth of the way. So it's just, it's kind of put up or shut up now.
Right. Yeah. It's different when you dig a hole early on. You can get out of it,
Yeah.
but you just can't have the same situations popping up like you're talking about, which we talk often about the Padres going through that last year. It seems like the Giants have kind of gone through that this year. I'll mix in a fan question here, so we have a lot of Astros fans that check out the show. Rod said, why isn't Joey Loperfido playing every day or at least more? And why would he sit yesterday against Stripling?
Yeah, it's a good question. They're trying there. It's going to be hard now. Remember Taz McCormick, who's on the IL, when he comes back in a couple of days, Joe's going to actually have a legit dilemma of how to get all these guys in the lineup. Mauricio Dubon didn't play either, and the day before had 4 hits. And he is, I think, still leading the league in hitting with runners in scoring positions. So if he can't make the lineup every day, I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's some dilemma there. It was great. They brought Joey up when he was red hot. He was hitting a ton of home runs in the minor leagues. They wanted him to provide a spark, but it also wasn't like a piece on this team that was completely, open and there was a spot ready to go. I mean, they needed some injuries to happen in order to give him that opportunity. So guys are getting healthier now. He is still a very exciting player. Joe's going to get him in there. I'm waiting for him to play first, see how that goes. But, we thought he was going to play more too. And then John Singleton goes off to hit a couple of home runs on that last road trip. We're like, all right, now that Singleton's hitting, got to keep playing him. But he will get over there to first base at some point. They got to get at least a look at him or let him get comfortable over there if that's what they want. But definitely an exciting guy. We have yet to see that first homer. I hope it comes here pretty quick. But he's somebody that'll, will be exciting for years to come.
Julia, I listened to the end of the game last night, and I heard it was either you or Blummer said Joe Espada told the guys they have to win these games against the A's. Did he really say that? Did he go to the team and say, guys, we have to win these next 7 games? Because that's tough.
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
I know.
I know it's the A's, but the A's aren't that bad. So
I know.
Do you really say that?
Right? Yeah, and it's been complete dominance over the A's over. So it's even get on the mic yesterday and have to explain to the fan base, like, this might be a tough series, y'all. Like, we don't know how this is going to play out just with the way the Astros have been playing, but I know these can homer at any point. They're back into the bullpen if they have a lead. We know what Mason Miller can do. So, you're trying to explain that to fan base who has no idea what it's like have their team lose to the Oakland Athletics the last few years. But yeah, I mean, he even, he said it a couple times at the end of the road trip, like, this homestand coming up. And so when they, yesterday, that was his message. Of course, it wasn't like a huge stand in front of the room, rah, rah. There's hitters meetings, there's pitchers meetings. But Joe's message to the group was, we have to beat this team. Like, this is it. Here we are. It's laid out in front of us. And we got to take it now, because we can be feeling really good about ourselves here in 10 days if we do that, and kind of put everything else behind us, all the struggles that we had at this point. So, yeah. It got to that point, and they've taught, people have stood up in front of this clubhouse after tough losses. Like, again, I don't know what meetings, people are trying to figure out, like, who's talking, who's doing what. I mean, people have spoken up, and that's all we need to know. It's not like everyone's just been letting this go. You've got guys like Justin Verlander in that clubhouse, of course, Altuve, Jordan even. They may not seem like all vocal leaders, but they have said stuff when it needed to be said. So, but it was Joe's turn to give that message. And it is true. It's true. I mean, it's crazy how things can flip if they can just play well for the next 10 days or 9 now.
It worked last night. Right.
Yeah.
It worked last night. It worked in the first one. So
I love it. Put a little pressure on the guys. Put a little pressure on them. Let's go.
Yeah. A little mid-May pressure. Julia, thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations on the call the history last night. It was super fun to watch and experience, obviously, on the fan side. So, and we'll check you out on the games as usual. Appreciate you.
Awesome. I'll be back in my spot tonight, but I appreciate you guys. You'll have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Julia Morales joining us on FT Live. She is one of the best in the biz.
Like she did awesome. But the one thing I think, Todd, I'm going to give you this advice right now. Before you do a game, you have to keep score. Okay?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not for any other reason other than you don't speak right away. So, like, something happens and your play-by-play does his job or her job and says, like, oh, there's a ground ball to short. You're like, okay, 6-3. And then it gives you that quick breath, right? So you just don't jump in all the time. So the keeping score is a big deal, and people don't realize. People are like, why would you keep score during a game? You're watching the game. I'm like, you keep score to slow yourself down, and then plus it kind of keeps you engaged in what's happening. You can look back and say, oh, we got a hit, or you write little notes or whatever.
I put other notes. I mean, mine became a mess, but I would put like a direction sometimes.
Yeah, to where they got a hit.
Or just certain things that I could look back on as potential trends, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a stat guy. You should have a stat guy sitting next to you.
Yes.
And you can write him a note real quick and say, hey, what's this stat? And they'll give back to you usually pretty quick.
Some play-by-play people keep pitches. They have much better brains than mine.
Yeah,
I can't go pitch to pitch. There are some dudes that go pitch to pitch. There are, and they're fine. They do it seamlessly. I can't do that. I respect that they can do that. My brain can't work that quickly. So,
agreed.
Just a few little nuggets. But, yeah, Julia was great. And what makes Julia special, too, is that she talks like a normal person, if that makes sense. Some people, when they're broadcasting, I'm just generalizing here, they'll get into a different mode. Julia just sounds like she's talking to you like she is on FT. So, and that's tough for some people to differentiate. You have to enunciate more and speak up. You can't be talking to your family on the low. But anyway, she's awesome. So it was cool. All right. We are going to rename one of our segs, and it's just about other games that we want to get to and break down over the past 24 hours.
What was it named before?
Yesterday's action. It's trash. We're
Claudia
better than that. No, Claudia was helping us along with our crew behind the scenes come up with some other names. So ICYMI, in case you missed it. I liked better than box scores. Let me give you a little more. It's better than box scores. Let's talk about it. You guys like that?
I don't mind. It's okay, yeah.
I didn't really get the response from either of you that I was expecting. I was like, better than box scores. What do you guys think? You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meh.
All right, well, if there's another idea, we can crowdsource it with the fans and let us know what you think.
Yeah, why don't we put it out there for the fans?
We just did. Go for it, people. Jump in. I'll keep an eye on the responses. In the meantime, let's first jump to the Phillies and Mets. They're playing right now. The Phillies are currently blanking them with Nola on the mound. But the Mets thought they had him last night.
Oh,
I bet Phillies money line. So for my personal ledger, it was different. But yeah, it's a 4-2 game in the ninth. Leadoff dinger, Bryson Stott makes it 4-3. The turning point that pissed off Mets fans, of course, was the Whit Merrifield check swing on a 3-1 pitch that walked him. Then we're showing here the hit by pitch. Bohm ends up bringing in the run. And then in the 10th, Stott drives in what ends up being the deciding run in a 5-4 win for Philadelphia. They were down 4-2 heading into the ninth.
It
happens. No,
yes, the trumpets were blowing. They just couldn't get them out.
It was a 3-1 count on the check swing as well. So it's not like, not saying he would have struck him out. He definitely went. I mean, that's a given. It should have been a full count, and then we have no clue what can happen after that. Mets went down 1 in the 10th. Wendell comes up, tries to get a bunt down, moves him over, pops up to third, and pretty much the rest was history. They brought in Eduardo, I think it was, the lefty scooter, if I'm not mistaken.
Alvarado,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Alvarado.
I was like, Eduardo.
He was throwing 98 cheddar. He jammed Bader and then jammed Jeff McNeil. Almost got a blooper out of it, but if you didn't get the bunt down, it was pretty much sayonara after that. So that's also the Metropolitans right now.
Yeah, that is. It's a mediocre team. It's a mid-range team. You're going to have some nights like this. You know, Diaz isn't going to be perfect.
Well, they won the night before on Nemo where they shouldn't have probably won. So
exactly.
They're getting.
The Phillies are.
I don't want to jinx it, but these guys got Aaron Nola's got a perfect game through 5 right now. So
yeah, and he's got 50-something pitches too. He's barely tossing.
If he does give up a hit, I apologize. I just got to report it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. That's not our job. We're not the team broadcasters. We're not working the game. Yeah, exactly. We're here to let you know.
I mean, listen, the Whit Merrifield check swing, it happens all the time. Did he swing? Probably, but who cares? Like, they still have chances to score, and I don't know. I think sometimes when you're a team that's not playing as well as people think you should, there's always a reason. Oh, they got a bad call. Well, just, I don't know. The old saying in baseball, Todd, if you don't like it, play better.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's 4-2 in the ninth. The Phillies are a really good team. How about that? Their offense.
Well, they played the Braves and the Phillies back-to-back series for the Mets.
Yeah, tough little stretch.
Tough little homestand.
But the Phillies can swing it. Their starting pitching is among the best in baseball, and they've got plenty of fire out of their bullpen. It's a really good team.
Yeah. It just kind of like the same old Mets though. Like when they do struggle, it's like the whole world's on their shoulders instead of being like, all right, we'll get it. Don't worry about it. You know, next game, next up. It just seems like then you come back and here we go again. But it is. If you don't like it, play better. That's how it goes, man. The guys aren't hitting the way they should. And that's really it right now. And they got a couple injuries that don't help, like everybody else.
And we're going to talk about the team that we cover the most on FT. The Rockies are on an absolute heater right now. They handed it to the Rangers over the weekend. Texas goes into Denver, puts up 6 runs over the weekend. That is difficult to do at Coors Field. You can't.
AJ knows. You don't go into Denver not getting at least 2 home runs. I mean, come on. 3 doubles.
You got
something.
And now the Rocks are on the road, and they beat the Pods. And the Padres were hot. They'd won 8 of 11. You know, they just made that Arise trade. They had the big walk-off in the series against the Dodgers on Friday, and they won that series. They won 2 out of 3, but they had won 8 out of 11 against Arizona, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. And then the Rockies take them down.
Someone's got to catch that ball right there.
What happened?
One of them's got to say. One of them's got to have to catch that ball. That last one.
Bro, I feel like Charlie Blackmon's been playing for 80 years now. The dude's
he
been
feels like it too.
we had the Rockies reporter on. He's like, Charlie Blackmon ain't doing it right now.
No, he's winding down.
But here's the thing: listen, every team gets hot, right? We always said it's not who you play; it's when you play them. So if you play a team that's not hot, or they're playing awful, like if you played the White Sox at the beginning of the year, you're like, we're gonna win. The White Sox got the Twins hot. They beat them 7 times in a row in a 10-game span when they won 12 in a row, right? The White Sox were awful. The Twins were hot, and then the It's just about when you play them. If you play a team that's hot, like the Rockies are hot right now, especially if you go to Colorado and they're hot, it's a tough place to go. But you got to score more than 6 runs in 3 games.
You do.
And
Next
I
up,
got a feeling
yeah.
those Astros are gonna be that team that's gonna get hot starting yesterday. So
You think
We'll
so?
see.
You think they're going
We'll
on a
see.
run right now?
I do.
Okay. Next up, you got to score more than 0 runs to support the Cy Young leader in the National League right now. That's Shota Imanaga, who was pretty much great scattering hits around. I mean, they got to him, but he did what he was supposed to do. 5 innings, 7 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks. He punched out 8. He got in some trouble, in the 4th? But the Cubs couldn't put up any runs against Atlanta's pitching. And it's a little 2-0 dub for ATL. They can win in a variety of ways, the Braves, by the way. But, of course, the story of Shota Imanaga just continuously dominating now for 2+ months of baseball is telling. This guy's special. Like, are we at a point now where the respect level is high? Like, what does it take? I'm not going on the Kratz talk yet because he's not here of when is he an ace? But when do we look at him and go, okay, this is going to play in the bigs for the long term as long as the dude's healthy. He's going to be an upper echelon starter. He's going to be a Cy Young contender. Are we there yet? You guys seen enough?
I think he's a Cy Young contender for sure. I think you can't not say that. I think he needs a little more time. I want him. I want to see him pitch more. Listen, I think he's a phenomenal player. I love what he's doing. I want to see him, like even 8 Ks. I'm looking at his score, 8 Ks, 3 walks, 5 shutout. That's awesome. I want to see 6 and 7 though. And I know he's done it. Don't get me wrong, but if he can be more consistent with that too as well, oh my God, sky's the limit for this guy. And I think to the point I want to talk about with his pitching, his force is generating towards home plate. It makes his pitches that much more deceptive because he's coming so hard and so kind of like an angry motion, which is under control, angry motion. That's really nice. An under control motion, but with force, it's really deceptive thinking a fastball's coming and he throws different pitches. So he has it all right now, man. I give him credit coming over here and just dominating like he does.
I mean, is he at that level? No, but he's done it for a month, right? So give me to the All-Star break and we'll talk. Because at some point he's going to have a bad start, right? Somebody's going to figure something out and get to him. Now he's been great for the Cubs, and this is one of the great debates of the offseason is what kind of pitcher will Shota Imanaga? Some people were saying, is he going to be a 1? Is he going to be a 5? Scott was saying that he barely was going to make the big league club. Okay,
so, I was not.
There was a lot of people in between. I don't know.
Roll the tape.
I was calling
but
people
so far, I'll say this: he's been really good for the Cubs. He's been their best pitcher. Steele went down, obviously. Taillon's kind of bouncing back now. Some of the other guys have not been as great, but Imanaga's been their best pitcher.
Yeah.
Now, can he keep this up for a whole year? If you're a Cubs fan, you certainly hope so, right? We'll see. But right now, he's probably the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young.
If you win a Cy Young, you're worth about $50 million. If you're going
50?
off all the... Yes.
50. Who's making $50 million?
I'm not saying on the open market. And actually, there are some guys pretty close to that.
Who's making 50?
Scherzer's at 46 and change, right?
Who's making 50? I just asked the question.
Okay, if you want me to say 45 mil. I'm going off of what the analytics and the front office people behind the scenes attribute wins to, right? Mm-hmm. If you win the Cy Young, like Blake Snell's season last year, if I could pay for it and know that I'm getting it, is worth $50 million.
What did he get this
Imanaga's season? What did he get? Mm-hmm. How much? I'm not going off the open market. I'm not going off the open market. I'm telling you what.
Well, that's the only thing you can go off of, Todd. Tell him. Like, I say, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. Like, if it was worth $50 million, he'd be getting $50 million. He was the Cy Young Award winner. He didn't get $50 million.
Because they didn't think he was going to do that again. And they're right. It's true. AJ got so excited he smacked his earpiece off. Whatever. My point is,
I was trying to turn you off, but it didn't work.
It never works. He signed a 4-year, $53 million deal. They had to pay a posting fee for about 10, and they have a club option that can make it 5 years, 80. My whole point of this was just that he already looks like a massive bargain, and he's going to pay for himself and then some in a season or two. There are a lot of teams kicking themselves that they didn't go further into this discussion with him and his
How many
reps,
teams are
because I
kicking
thought he was going to get
themselves for
100
not picking
plus.
up Shohei Ohtani as well?
Well, no, that's different because most teams weren't going to pay him. I'm saying, I mean, Shohei Ohtani's present day value of his contract's $460 million.
But
Shota
what did he
Imanaga
sign?
signed 4 years,
What did he sign?
53.
What did he sign when he came over, Shohei?
Well, Shohei, that's different because he was on limitations of how much he could sign. And that's why he did the whole sweepstakes, American Idol, who's going to sign me and all that. So a lot of teams wanted him. They weren't. Every team wanted him. That's different. For me, Shota Imanaga was up for grabs. There were some. I wasn't the only one, but I definitely put out there. I think he's going to get a little over $100 million, and he got half of that, and I was surprised. And now, if you could redo it and say, right this second, we saw him up. Suddenly, he's a free agent. This second, he'd get $200 million.
Imanaga?
Yes.
Yep.
If I talk to GMs, if I ask them, all right, Shota Imanaga, right this second is a free agent. You signing him for 200? Most of them would, if they were allowed to.
Like, all right, so would you rather have Imanaga or Yoshinobu Yamamoto?
For how long? For 12 years or for 5 years or for what?
Which one would you rather have right now?
Same exact contract.
If they're both free agents at this precise moment, who would you rather have?
Imanaga.
Okay.
What about you?
We'll see.
No, you got to answer. If they're both free agents right now,
this segment is called "Scott is Wrong."
If they're both free agents, Todd Father, and they both say, "Hey,
I agree with you, Scott.
5 years at
you don't
30
have to
a year or whatever," you're on the same page.
I am.
Okay, Jordan Hicks or Imanaga / Yamamoto.
Imanaga.
Yamamoto or Jordan Hicks.
Yamamoto.
Okay.
Why don't you have to answer any of these?
Because I'm asking the questions. I'm the interviewer. You're the interviewer.
Todd, do you agree with everything I said, or do you have any disagrees?
I just said this segment is called "Scott is Wrong."
I'm not.
Everyone
Scott,
in the chat says I'm right.
Todd, I didn't say Todd was wrong. I said Scott was wrong.
Oh,
nailed
God.
it.
We should move on.
Really, it's just
we should.
AJ doesn't like him, and Naga, I do. That's all I want to let everyone know.
I never said I didn't like him.
No, I like him too. I like him.
I like him.
We get it.
I never said I didn't like him. That is bullshit.
You don't like his heater. We get it.
I love him.
You thought he was
You're the one that said he was a marginal big leaguer and would barely break the rotation.
No,
yes, you did.
I love him.
I think he's great.
I never said that.
And I only said Hicks because Hicks and Yamamoto pitched last night against each other.
Yeah, I got Yamamoto.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Over Hicks. I like Hicks.
Hicks is having a good year.
Yeah, he is having a good year. He's had injury concerns in the past. Yamamoto's younger, more weapons in the arsenal. Hicks is great, but I'd choose Yamamoto.
Okay.
Hot corner time.
Let's go.
Some FT people wanted us to talk about the fan that caught 2 foul balls in the same inning.
Yes, that's
same inning, back-to-back pitches.
Same pitches, whatever. Same at that. Back-to-back pitches.
This segment's also called "Scott is Wrong."
You know what this one's called? Like, respectfully, I don't care that much.
It's kind of cool, dude.
It's cool, but I also just don't care. So then you take over.
Oh, come on, Scott. That's
I'm gonna take my ball and go home, Todd.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool. It's cool. Like,
dude, 2 pitches in a row. 2 pitches in a row. Dude hits a foul ball to the same guy in the same seat in the stadium.
Cool.
That's unbelievable.
Cool
I don't know what the chances are, but it ain't very high. They're better than the chance of you being right.
Good job. That's all you have? You just
man, cool. Scott, that's a little cutthroat there, bud.
What?
2 foul balls in back-to-back
I said
pitches.
Cool. Good job. That's awesome. All right,
cool.
we'll show it. Let's show it.
Scott doesn't want to.
No, I'll show it. We have it.
AJ, you're killing him today. He's not in a good mood.
Look at this guy. Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
Again, one a little straightened out a little bit more. Let's see.
Yeah.
That dude's the man, bro. He got 2 and 2. And he caught him both, too.
Hey, AJ.
No glove.
Scott
Scott
would be the guy. Scott would be the guy sitting next to him like this, like.
Yeah. No, Scott would be the guy that threw pizza. Scott would be the guy that threw pizza at Garrett Anderson that time in Boston. That's
No, I wouldn't. I'm allergic. I would not touch that.
I mean, getting him on back-to-back pitches, you're looking to hundreds of millions, if not billions.
Oh, the average here?
Yeah.
So per the SB Nation article, your odds of catching a foul ball in a game are 1 out of 580. 2 foul balls. 1 out of 336,400.
That's about the chances of one of my bets hitting too. 1 in 330.
That's
right, and back-to-back
cool
pitches, 1 out of hundreds of millions, if not billions. It's crazy.
Pretty cool.
It's good luck.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome.
Cool. It was great. I just don't have that much to contribute to it. Like, it was cool. It was great. I saw it. It was great. I don't know what else to say. That's all
Party
I got.
pooper.
No, I get it. I get it. You saw it's great. We can move on. I understand.
Yeah,
It's a cool
feat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. To me, the next one stands out more because it's like, yo, I'm throwing shade at you. What do you got, right? So the Tigers scoreboard had the player note for Brian De La Cruz saying only 2 actual Marlins fans attend games in Miami. Cody Stavenhagen put this up, who writes about the Tigers for The Athletic. See, that to me is shots fired. No, it's not even a player note. That's just, see, it should just say talking trash, and then they
should
talk
do
shit
that
about
more
teams.
often.
I think it's hilarious.
Okay. Todd, you've played in Detroit, obviously.
Sure.
They used to put the most obscure stats up there for you as a visiting player.
The
The most negative stat they could find. You could be Miguel Cabrera winning the Triple Crown, and the stat would be to be like the end of September, you're hitting 350 with 40 and 130, and they'd be like, you look up there and it'd be like, on Tuesdays in 0-2 count, he hits .012 with the dew on the grass and the temperature under 60 degrees, and you're like, you look up there, you'd be like, wait, what the fuck, dude? We're about to win the Triple Crown. They could find the most obscure stats, so I kind of like this. It kind of fits Detroit, and I'm all for it. We need more talking trash.
You guys look at it, Todd. Do you see it?
Oh, without a doubt. You know what the best one I thought was, though? San Diego had some really cool stats they would put under. Like they put something, what did they put? Like when I was up there, it said, did you know Todd Frazier won the national pump, pass, and kick competition when he was 9? Like it found like some of the coolest stats, and you'd be like, you didn't know about somebody. You're like, oh shit, I didn't know that your sister won the javelin in the Olympics, or like they would put like really cool stats of who you were and people that you are families with. It was cool.
Then I went to Minnesota, and they would put fake stats up there, which was even better.
Really?
Oh, Mike Herman, and Dustin Morris. Oh my gosh, dude!
Like what?
Oh, they would put, just to make me mad, they would put like in the target field, it would say like AJ, I don't know, something, whatever it was, but it would just be something on purpose to
like had the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, it would be something that they knew would just make me mad.
For skipping and
so they would say, like, one of them they loved is, signed to attend the University of Tennessee, because they knew I was a Florida fan. So they would just, it would always be up there, right? Or that one was true, but it was just I'm like, so I'd go to them, I'd be like, why'd you put that up there? And they're like, oh, you know why. So they would always like put the little, I like it though. It's kind of funny. Anaheim used to do, every time we go to Anaheim, because this was after we won when I was with the White Sox, they'd always have like a theme night for like, when we were there, one night was like 70s night, and they were like, Pierzynski is also known as a wet blanket. Like stuff like that. And I was like, what the hell? I didn't even know what it meant at the time. Or they'd do Star Wars night, and everybody would be like Luke Skywalker, and I'd come up and I'd be Darth Vader. Like stuff like that is awesome.
So, Michael behind the scenes first. I was just thinking about this one too. I swear I was just thinking this is the one, and this was put up in Anaheim. Jonah Heim on the scoreboard. I think this was last year, and it said, has a daughter, however, missed an opportunity and did not name her Anna.
I love that.
That was really good.
That's really good. All right, what's your name?
I like all
Anna Heim.
Yeah, exactly. I want to throw one more out there. The Baltimore Orioles just kind of shifting top prospects on the big league roster. They call up Kyle Stowers, and they send down Heston Kjerstad. Man, it's tough sledding if you're in Baltimore.
But think about what these guys were doing in AAA, and they both.
That's what I'm saying.
Jackson Holiday and Heston Kjerstad both were crushing it.
Yeah.
Get up to the big league. Both kind of struggled. Now they're both back in Norfolk, and they're trying the next guy.
Kjerstad's not getting the consistent playing time, though. The problem is Holiday is different. They gave him PT. There's some dudes right now that are in AAA for Baltimore, hitting the crap out of the ball in one of the deeper lineups that's been out there for a AAA baseball team in a while. You get called up to the show. You have immense pressure to perform right away for a team that is fighting for the best record in baseball. And you're probably not going to get consistent playing time. So if you can't put all of that together, they're probably going, you're going back down. That's the good problem that they're in right now.
I wonder how Jackson Holliday is doing in AAA. That's going to be the next thing I look up from when he went back down. You know what I mean? Like, is he still consistently dominating down there where it's like, all right, well, he's pushing the envelope again. He's got his head on straight. His swing looks better. Is he ready to, get that boost to come back up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can probably find
I'm always intrigued, because when I played the thing, whenever I got called back down, it's like I always still want to be consistent. And actually, my numbers actually went down instead of going back up. And then the third time I got called back up, I said, "This is it. Let's go." And
when you went back down,
when I went back down, when I got called back up for the third time, I'm like, I'm not going back down anymore. Let's go. And luckily, I did well. So
is that the last 7 games? I mean, the last week, but 2 for 23.
11 strikeouts.
By the way, I just want to give a shout out because you're talking about one of the best teams of all time. 2000 Salt Lake City Buzz. If you ain't seen our stats from that year.
You guys were better than the Orioles?
I mean, I ain't saying we were better, but I'm just going to say this. I just looked it up. We hit 312 as a team for the year, not for the month, for a year. Our OPS for the year was 890. The whole team.
Ball flies in SLC.
Our whole team was 890 OPS for the year, that's 145 games.
What year was that?
2000. We had, hold on, let me see.
Yeah, they were throwing fastballs at 88 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. I don't give a shit. Hold on, let me read some of these names.
Said they were throwing dumpy cutters.
Minkiewicz, okay, Doug Minkiewicz, Casey Blake, Todd Walker, Torrey Hunter, Luis Rivas, Chad Moeller, Jay Canizero, Matt LeCroy, Marcus Jensen, Bobby Kilty, Butch Husky, Mike Ryan, who we talked about the other day, Danny Ardois. I mean, dude, that's pretty impressive. We scored over 1,000 runs. It was unbelievable. It was great.
Good names. It's no Norfolk Tides, but some good names. It's no AAA Tides, but anyway.
I'm just saying, dude, that team was stupid.
Yes.
Scott, last thing I'll put a button up on. I'll put a bookmark on this. 2 for 23, 11 Ks. Now it's like, okay, well, I know it's 23 at bats going back down, but it's got to be playing a little bit in his head, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's slumping right now. Yep. I'll turn it around. But yeah, he's slumping right now. So was Kerstead, by the way. So he was just $143 and didn't get a ton of PT. He's back down. We'll see if Stowers can look.
If I'm Stowers right now, hey, this is my time to shine. Let's go.
Yeah, of course. And he was shining in AAA, but he's played in the bigs, 48 games.
Yeah.
207, 267, 331 he didn't hit. But also, I mean, this is normal. Colton Cowser wasn't, blowing the world away last year. And then this year, he's one of the best hitters in baseball right now for Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So these guys, most of them will eventually click. Actually, also, a few of them won't. But the thing is, they've got so many damn good position player prospects that they'll be fine. We talk more about this on Hot Sheet. Make sure you check it out. It's actually 3 minutes away. It's on the Baseball America YouTube channel, but if you're here, we flip you right over to it. Yes?
Last thing I'll say, and I know we're running out of time, but now it makes you wonder. Listen, some of these kids that got up, didn't do well. You got other guys you're trying to look forward to. These are some trade pieces that some teams will be looking for. Like we talked about this in the offseason. They're prospects, but we talk about suspects, prospects. They haven't had a taste at the big league level yet. It's like, is some of them going to make it? They have tons of pieces. They need to use these pieces to get something bigger. And I'll end it.
No, that's good. And we'll cover that at some point too and kind of ask the Baseball America crew which prospects they think will get dealt because Baltimore's likely going to be very active at the deadline. There it is, your Hot Sheet promo if you're watching right now instead of just listening to the pod, but it's 3:00 live on Tuesdays. They're going to pick up at least a bullpen member or two. So someone's going to get traded. So make sure you check that out. Let's give you a little look at the rest of the week guest-wise after Slap. Tomorrow we have Jared Diamond from the Wall Street Journal. Austin Slater and Mike Yastrzemski joining us together on the show from the San Francisco Giants.
Nice.
Thursday, Rowdy's back, Witt's back, some of the regulars joining us for a little chit chat. So plenty of player guest interviews. Actually, Brice Turang was great today. If you're listening to the pod, that one will get released soon, so look out for that. But otherwise, you can check it out right away on YouTube. Brice Turang was awesome. Super laid back, but speed demon. And some good answers in there from Turang.
Yeah, great. I mean, his answer about hitting wise was great. He's like, I'm not a 40 home run guy. I'm a fast guy. I need to hit the ball on the ground and run.
Can't miss hit homers. It's a good quote.
Great quote.
He's 24 years old. He's hitting 294, 16 for 16 on the base paths, 358 on base, 121 OPS plus. He's a 1.5 WAR player a quarter through the season.
One of the biggest improved players, most improved players in baseball right now.
That's a good call, because last year the question was, will this guy hit enough? That was just like the simple question you hear often with a young position player. Will he hit enough? He was 218, 285, 300 slug, 61 OPS plus in 448 plate appearances. Answer, yes. He will hit enough.
By the way, Todd ruined the perfect game. I'm just saying.
I did. I saw that.
Todd, you took a swing while you were on the show?
You're right. Where's my bet? Where's that bet?
The people with the superstitions when it's like you can't say stuff is I can't. I'm not even going to give it attention. But anyway, that's it for us. Baseball America Hot Sheet coming up next. We got JJ Cooper and Jeff Ponce joining us. We're going to dive deep into the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, talk about some of the next up-and-coming stars in that org. Of course, we'll hit the Paul Skenes debut. Was I grouchy today? Hey, you know what? I guess I was. I was up late. Sorry about it. Sorry, I don't think
you were grouchy today.
Sorry that I stick up for my friend Shota Imanaga. I'm the only one that thinks he's an ace right now.
Dude, you're the one that said he was barely going to make the team.
Only one that thinks he's an ace and worth 9 figures. Somebody's got to stick up for him. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go.
My division pick.
I hate that song.
NL Central.